This is a very quick tutorial on how to install XML mods. What you do first is, as you can see, I have downloaded my Horde Run mod, for instance, and it comes with 2 XML files. And then I have my folder that I want to install them on. So the first thing I want to do is I want to make backups of my actual files that it's going to be overwriting. So I have entity classes, right? So I find entity classes over here, and I just click it once, and you can hit F2 or you can right click and rename. Either way, I want to rename it to anything else. Now I like to change it to -original. And then it's going to ask me if I want to change the file extension type, and I want to say yes to that. Now, in a lot of people's versions of Windows, they don't see file extensions. They see, well, I don't know what they see because they don't have it set to see file extensions. I don't even know how to change it back to, there we go, unclick it there. This is what they see, right? So, and the file extension is basically the type of file it is, .xml, .txt, .exe, or whatever it is. In the default Windows, this is a hidden thing, so all you see is this part. So it's going to be the same thing though. Since this one has an entity groups over here, I have an entity groups over here, I'm going to F2 it, and then I'm going to change it to -original. Now you're going to see something look a little bit different here, is when I go ahead and I show the file name extensions, it renamed it here rather than after the extension. And that's the big difference between renaming the files and showing the extensions. But it doesn't really make a difference for my purposes because I just want to backup. And I could also just make a separate folder if I wanted to. Let me reset these back to where they need to be. And then you could go to Home, New Folder, Original Backups. And then I can take these files, entity classes, entity groups. I can hold down Control while selecting, right click, copy, and then paste them. And this quotes the copy and original backups. It really doesn't make a difference how you back them up, but you do as a general rule want to back them up, particularly if you run other mods. Anyway, so now I'm going to go ahead and make these 2 files and put them over here. So I'm going to go ahead and delete these 2 files since I have a backup. And then I'm going to copy and paste these. Copy, paste. Where the hell did paste go? Oh, I guess I have to paste somewhere over here. So now it says it's -copy. Another way to do that is just Control-C it, like Control like copy, then Control-V it, like void. I don't know what the V is for, but paste. And then I'm going to go ahead and F2 these. Oops. Into the files, into the actual game name files that the game will actually be reading. Now, basically this file is the same as this file is the same as this file. You can see that all the dates and times and file sizes are the same. But maybe, for me, I like to have my backups in here, right? So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and rename those to .original. I'm going to say yes to changing the file extension. Copy those back in here. Now I have all the files in here, but the only one the game looks at is the names with the original names, entity classes and entity groups. And this is why people get confused when they're copying files back and forth and doing backups. They actually forget which one's the original file. So barring anything else, let's say you just totally screwed your stuff up and you really just don't know what the original file is, you can always load Steam. You go to the game itself. Whoops, games. Where the hell is my games at? Oh, games itself. You can right click it, click properties, go to local files, and verify integrity game cache. No, I'm not going to do it. Yeah, I might as well. What the hell, why not? What it's going to do now is it's actually going to validate all the files and then overwrite all the default files with the correct default files, the ones directly from Steam. So you can see it's going to give me some issues, and it's going to 126 files fail to validate and will be required. So I have a lot of modded files in there, and I really don't even know what, to tell you the truth. So it's going to go ahead and download those. It looks like it's already done. Now, every file that I have is that's the real file. This is the default 7 Days to Die file. However, as you can see, because I kept copies of my modded files, it also kept those as well. So I can still go back and still copy those and paste them into the, or just rename those into the original file name. So, it doesn't, when you're requiring all the files, it does not delete your modded files unless they're the same name as the default files. So that's why I use modified names for my mod files.